The universe is answering the story you tell yourself. Think about that for a moment. Every day, from the moment you wake up until the moment you fall asleep, there is a story playing inside your mind. It is the story you tell yourself about who you are, what you deserve, what is possible for you, and what kind of life you can have. Most people do not realize how powerful this story truly is. They believe their circumstances create their thoughts, but often it is their thoughts that help create their circumstances. If you constantly tell yourself that life is difficult, that opportunities are rare, or that success belongs to other people, you begin to see the world through that lens. You notice more problems than possibilities. You expect disappointment instead of blessings. Over time, this story becomes so familiar that it feels like the truth. But what if it is only a story that has been repeated so many times that you no longer question it? Most people believe they only talk to others throughout the day. But the truth is that the longest conversation they have is with themselves. From morning until night, there is a constant stream of thoughts running through the mind. Some of these thoughts are encouraging, but many are automatic and repetitive. They have been there for so long that they feel normal. You may not even notice them anymore. Yet these hidden conversations quietly influence how you feel, how you act, and what you expect from life. Think about the moments when something goes wrong. What is the first thing you tell yourself? Do you say, "I always mess things up," or "nothing ever works out for me"? When an opportunity appears, do you think, "I can do this"? Or do you immediately doubt yourself? These small thoughts may seem harmless, but when repeated day after day, they become powerful beliefs. And once a belief takes root, it begins to shape your reality. Many people unknowingly tell themselves stories of lack, fear, rejection, or limitation. They expect struggle because they have repeated that story for years. They expect disappointment because they have convinced themselves that good things rarely happen to them. The mind accepts what it hears repeatedly, whether it is true or not. That is why becoming aware of your inner conversation is so important. Before you can change your life, you must first listen to the story you are telling yourself every day. Only then can you begin to choose a different story, one that supports the life you truly want to create. Once you begin to notice the story you are telling yourself, an important question arises. Why does that story seem to have such a powerful effect on your life? According to the law of attraction, the answer is simple. The universe responds to the energy you consistently send out. It does not focus on what you want once in a while. It responds to what you believe most often, what you feel most deeply, and what you expect to happen. Every thought creates a feeling. When a thought is repeated over and over again, that feeling becomes familiar. Over time, it becomes your emotional state. If you constantly tell yourself that life is unfair, you begin to feel frustrated and powerless. If you tell yourself that good things are on their way, you begin to feel hopeful and open. These emotions influence the choices you make, the opportunities you notice, and the way you interact with the world around you. The universe acts like a mirror. It reflects back the energy and expectations that you hold within yourself. This does not mean that every single thought instantly becomes reality. It means that your dominant beliefs create a pattern, and that pattern influences the experiences you attract into your life. When you repeatedly focus on lack, you become more aware of what is missing. When you focus on possibilities, you begin to see doors opening where you once saw walls. That is why your story matters so much. It is not just a collection of thoughts in your mind. It is a message that you send to the universe every day. And the message you send consistently is often the reality you begin to receive. The more you understand this, the more power you gain to consciously create a different future. At this point, you may be wondering about something important. If thoughts are so powerful, does every negative thought create a negative result? The answer is no. Every person experiences moments of doubt, fear, worry, or frustration. These thoughts are a normal part of being human. A single negative thought does not have the power to define your future. What truly shapes your life is the story you return to again and again. Think of it this way. A passing thought is like a cloud moving across the sky. It appears, stays for a moment, and then moves on. But the core story is different. A core story is something you have repeated for months, years, or even decades. It becomes part of the way you see yourself and the world around you. It influences your decisions, your habits, and your expectations without you even realizing it. For example, someone may occasionally think, "I am not confident today." That is simply a temporary thought. But if that person repeatedly tells themselves, "I am not good enough," year after year, it becomes a core story. Eventually, they may stop taking chances, avoid opportunities, and settle for less than they deserve because that story feels true. The same thing happens with beliefs about money, relationships, health, success, and happiness. The good news is that core stories are not permanent. They may feel deeply rooted, but they were learned over time, and anything that has been learned can also be changed. The first step is recognizing the difference between a temporary thought and a belief that has become part of your identity. When you become aware of the stories you have accepted as truth, you begin to take back your power. And that is where real transformation begins. Many people spend years trying to change their circumstances without realizing that the real problem may be the story they are carrying inside. These stories often sound so familiar that they seem like facts. But in reality, they are simply beliefs that have been repeated over and over again. The more they are repeated, the more powerful they become. And unfortunately, many of these stories keep people stuck in the same patterns for years. One common story is, "Nothing ever works out for me." A person who believes this may expect failure before they even begin. They may stop trying too soon or overlook opportunities because they assume things will not go well. Another common story is, I am not good enough. This belief can affect relationships, careers, and personal growth. Even when success is possible, the person may hold themselves back because they do not believe they deserve it. Many people also carry stories about money. They may tell themselves that money is always difficult to earn, that wealthy people are lucky, or that financial freedom is out of reach. Others carry painful stories about love, believing they will always be rejected or disappointed. Some believe happiness is for other people, but not for them. These stories may be different, but they all have one thing in common. They create limitations that exist first in the mind and then begin to appear in daily life. The challenge is that these stories often feel comfortable because they are familiar. Even when they cause pain, they become part of a person's identity. That is why change can feel difficult at first. Letting go of an old story can feel like stepping into the unknown. But the moment you realize that these beliefs are not permanent truths, something powerful happens. You begin to see that you are not trapped by your past thoughts. You are free to choose a new story, a new belief, and a new direction for your life. And that choice can change everything. Before you can create a new story, you must first become aware of the one you are already living. This may sound simple, but it is one of the most important steps in personal transformation. Many people move through life on autopilot. They repeat the same thoughts, react in the same ways, and expect the same results without ever stopping to question why. They become so familiar with their beliefs that they mistake them for reality. The truth is that awareness changes everything. The moment you begin to observe your thoughts, instead of automatically believing them, you create space for change. You start to notice the patterns that have been running in the background for years. You notice the thoughts that appear when you face a challenge, when you think about money, when you look at your future, or when you think about yourself. These moments reveal the story that has been shaping your life. Pay attention to the words you use when speaking about your circumstances. Listen carefully to the things you say when no one else is around. Notice what you expect from life. Do you expect opportunities or obstacles? Do you expect success or disappointment? Your expectations often reveal your deepest beliefs. They show you the story that is quietly guiding your actions and influencing your results. The goal is not to judge yourself or feel guilty about the stories you have carried. Every person has developed beliefs through past experiences, challenges, and lessons. Instead, approach yourself with kindness and honesty. Simply observe. The more aware you become, the more clearly you can see what needs to change. Awareness is powerful because you cannot change what you refuse to see. But once you see it, you are no longer controlled by it. You begin to understand that you are not your old story. You are the one telling the story. And if you are the one telling it, you also have the power to rewrite it. That realization is the beginning of a completely new chapter in your life. Once you become aware of the story you have been telling yourself, the next step is to consciously choose a new one. This is where real change begins. Many people spend years trying to change their circumstances while holding on to the same old beliefs. They want different results, but they continue telling themselves the same story. If the story remains the same, the results often remain the same as well. To create a different future, you must first create a different conversation within yourself. Choosing a new story does not mean pretending that challenges do not exist. It means deciding that your past does not have to define your future. It means refusing to let old fears, disappointments, or mistakes determine what is possible for you. A new story begins when you start saying things like, "I am capable of growth. Good opportunities are available to me. I deserve happiness, and my life can improve." These simple statements may seem small at first, but they carry a completely different energy than the beliefs that once held you back. The key is to choose a story that feels empowering while still feeling believable. If a new belief feels too far from where you are today, your mind may resist it. Instead of forcing yourself to believe something that feels impossible, focus on thoughts that create hope and possibility. Take one step at a time. A small shift in belief today can become a powerful transformation tomorrow. As you begin repeating your new story, be patient with yourself. The old story may try to return because it has been familiar for so long. When that happens, gently remind yourself of the truth you are choosing now. Every time you return to your new belief, you strengthen it. Every time you choose a thought that supports your growth, you send a new message to the universe. Remember, your life follows the direction of your dominant beliefs. When you consistently tell a story of possibility, confidence, abundance, and self-worth, you begin to think differently, feel differently, and act differently. And when you change those things, you begin to create a reality that matches the new story you have chosen for yourself. One of the most powerful ways to strengthen your new story is through the words you speak to yourself every day. Many people underestimate the impact of self-talk. They pay attention to what others say about them, but they rarely notice what they are saying to themselves. Yet the voice you hear most often is your own. Over time, that voice becomes the foundation of your beliefs, your confidence, and your expectations. Imagine spending every day speaking to yourself with criticism, doubt, and fear. Imagine constantly telling yourself that you are not capable, not worthy, or not ready. Even if opportunities appear, it becomes difficult to embrace them because your inner voice keeps pulling you back. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine speaking to yourself with patience, encouragement, and belief. Imagine reminding yourself that you are growing, learning, and becoming stronger every day. Which voice do you think will create a better future? The way you speak to yourself influences the energy you carry. When your inner dialogue is filled with gratitude, hope, and self-respect, you naturally begin to feel more confident and positive. You start looking for possibilities instead of problems. You begin focusing on what is working instead of what is missing. This shift may seem small, but it changes the way you experience life. This does not mean you have to be perfect. There will still be days when you feel uncertain or discouraged. The goal is not to eliminate every negative thought. The goal is to stop giving those thoughts complete control over your story. When a negative thought appears, acknowledge it and then choose a better thought. Remind yourself of the person you are becoming rather than the person you used to be. Every encouraging word you speak to yourself is like planting a seed. At first, you may not see immediate results, but with consistency, those seeds begin to grow. Your confidence grows. Your belief grows. Your expectations grow. And as your inner world changes, your outer world begins to respond. The universe listens closely to the story you repeat. Make sure the story you tell yourself is one that supports the life you truly want to create. As you begin telling yourself a new story, it is important to remember that real change takes time. One of the biggest mistakes people make is expecting immediate results. They repeat a new belief for a few days, look around for proof that everything has changed, and then become discouraged when they do not see instant evidence. But lasting transformation rarely happens overnight. Just as an old story was built through years of repetition, a new story needs time to grow strong roots. Think about a seed planted in the ground. The moment it is planted, nothing appears to happen on the surface. Yet beneath the soil, important changes are taking place. The seed is preparing itself for growth. In the same way, when you begin changing your beliefs, much of the transformation happens inside you first. Your thoughts begin to shift. Your emotions begin to change. Your confidence starts to grow. Even if you cannot see it yet, progress is happening. This is why patience is such an important part of the process. The universe often responds in ways that are not immediately visible. Sometimes opportunities are being prepared. Sometimes new connections are formed. Sometimes life is creating circumstances that will support your future growth. If you give up too soon, you may miss the very things you have been asking for. Trust does not mean sitting back and doing nothing. It means continuing to believe in your new story while taking positive steps forward. It means choosing faith over fear, even when results seem slow. Every day that you repeat your new beliefs, every day that you choose thoughts that support your goals, you are strengthening the message you send to the universe. There may be moments when old doubts try to return. There may be days when your progress feels invisible. During those moments, remind yourself why you started. Remember that every meaningful change begins within. Stay consistent with your thoughts. Stay committed to your new story. Trust that the person you are becoming is already taking shape. The more you believe in that story, the more your life will begin to reflect it. And in time, what once felt impossible may become your new reality. As we come to the end of this message, remember one simple truth. The universe is always responding to the story you believe most deeply, not the story you wish were true for a few moments, but the story you consistently repeat through your thoughts, feelings, and expectations. If you want to change what is happening around you, begin by changing what is happening within you. Pay attention to your inner conversation. Notice the beliefs you are feeding every day. Then choose a story that supports the life you truly want to live. You are not defined by your past mistakes, your current circumstances, or the limitations you once believed about yourself. You have the power to create a new story at any moment. A story filled with possibility instead of fear. A story filled with confidence instead of doubt. A story filled with abundance, growth, and hope. The more you align your thoughts with that story, the more your life will begin to reflect it. Trust yourself. Trust the process. And trust that every positive thought, every empowering belief, and every step forward is helping you create a new reality. The universe is listening. Make sure the story you tell yourself is worthy of the future you want to experience. If this message spoke to your heart and helped you see your own story in a new way, please take a moment to like this video. Share it with someone who may need to hear it, and leave a comment below about the new story you are choosing for your life. And if you would like more positive messages, inspiration, and law of attraction videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Thank you for being here, and remember, your new story begins today.